Before I start, I want to tell you what this episode is not going to be about. This is not an episode of everything coming to Disney World in 2026. Because to be honest, I think that is really easy to find online right now of just all of the things that are coming to Disney World next year. There's plenty of that online. And with all the dates and specifics, I think listening to it is going to be really hard to keep track of versus reading it. But I still wanted to do this episode because there is a lot of changes coming to Disney World in 2026. And I don't really think that any of them are bad things or negative things. There are a lot of things that I am excited about. I'm curious to see because, to be honest, I really miss Disney World a lot right now. And there are things that I haven't had a chance to do, let's say even last year, or maybe things that we haven't done in a while and I miss, or maybe things that we haven't done before, even though they're actually very old school. But for the sake of this episode, I want to talk strictly about the new things that are coming this year specifically, and not the things that are old and I'm just excited about. Hello, and welcome to the Laid Back Magic Way podcast. I'm your host, Dana Stanley, creator of Laid Back Magic. As a mom of 3, I know how tough it can be to find time to plan a Disney World trip that doesn't leave you feeling stressed or overwhelmed. That's why I'm here, to help moms like you create Disney vacations that feel even better than they look on paper. Here, we're not chasing perfection, but creating our next favorite memories. So whether you're brand new to Disney or looking to go deeper into the details, this podcast is your go-to for simple tips, mindset shifts, real-life trip recaps, and expert insights to make your trip magical and manageable. New episodes drop every Monday, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment. Okay, let's dive in. I don't normally do news or update related episodes, but because this is the start of a brand new, fresh year, I do think it's good to know what's coming in case we need to be prepared for them when we're planning our trips. Because some of these things, even though they're not a change in the sense of logistics are working different or the way you book dining or lightning lanes is going to be different, but when new rides open or old rides close, it has a ripple effect in your planning and the way the crowds move, the way rope dropping changes, early entry changes. Or there could be a park that you've kind of written off of not visiting at all this year because you don't think that it has enough to offer for your family. And depending on when you're planning for 2026, I do think a lot of these could make a big impact on your decisions that you have to make. So first up, let's start in Magic Kingdom. I'm really excited about Big Thunder Mountain finally reopening in the spring. We don't have an exact date, just quote spring. For my first timers or my newbies, Big Thunder Mountain is a roller coaster that has a height limit of 40 inches. So while it's not a super intense roller coaster, it does have a height limit 2 inches taller than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train to kind of give you a scale. And it's a very light-hearted roller coaster. It's not meant to scare you. It's a classic because it was always one of the 3 mountains. There was Space Mountain, Big Thunder, and Splash Mountain, which is now rethemed to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And at first I want to say I don't know why I'm so excited for this to reopen, but I do know. It's because I really like Big Thunder Mountain. I grew up with the Disneyland version. I have really good memories of riding it with my sister and my mom. I also haven't gotten to ride it in a while because I was either pregnant. I missed it on a trip when my son was really little because he was just fussy and I couldn't get away. And then it closed. I also think because Splash Mountain is Tiana's Bayou Adventure now, I just want to hold on to the classics with these 3 mountains. And when Big Thunder Mountain is closed, it just feels off. It feels like something's missing over in Frontierland. So for all of those reasons, I'm excited for this to reopen. So what I do want to say is I'm very excited for this to reopen, but I'm not necessarily excited for the changes per se. I'm not saying that I'm not excited about the changes. I'm just curious about the changes. Disney has said that it will now have a smoother track, which I think is great because Big Thunder Mountain was a very bumpy ride. But on the other hand, I'm like, how smooth are we talking? Like, I don't want it to be too smooth. I want it to be a little bumpy, you know? They also mentioned some like glowing effects and more backstory. None of that's like a bad thing. Like, fine, that's great. I'm just excited for it to be back open. And let's stay in Magic Kingdom since that's what we're talking about right now. And I am going to cheat a little bit for a second because I said that I wasn't going to mention old things that I just haven't had a chance to do. But since we're talking about Magic Kingdom anyway, I just have to say I'm really excited to finally see Disney's Starlight Parade. It opened last year. Haven't had a chance to see it. Very much have a love for nighttime electric parades. And that's all. I'm just excited about it. Let's mosey on over to Epcot with a change that I'm very embarrassed that I'm excited about. Like, I almost took it off the list because I'm like, no, this is like very niche news. I don't want this episode to be like that. But when I really think about it, I am genuinely excited about this. And that is for the Frozen Ever After ride in Epcot, which has no height limit, i.e., even like little babies can ride. It is getting a tiny, again, niche update in February, where instead of the characters or the animatronics in the scenes having like, and I don't know the exact terminology, but the faces aren't like skin. There's something projected onto their face like a screen. So like if they were off, it would be an animatronic with like a black screened face, and then they shine essentially a light or projector on the face. And it looks so weird. And I've always thought that since it was changed to Frozen Ever After, like, why did they do that? It looks so weird because it has like a different hue to it. Like, it's just a character body like you would see in like Pirates of the Caribbean or, you know, just like a robot person animatronic. And then the face has a screen and it looks like a TV, like it's a little bit bluish. And I never understood it. Always bothered me. So now they are making them normal where there's not a screen face. They just have a face that moves like a true animatronic. And the verbiage I've read is that this is Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff. So all of the faces will not be TV faces, which is very cool. Because like honestly, even my daughters have asked, why do their faces look like that? So I do think it'll make an impact for the kids that are really into Frozen because they'll look so much more realistic and it won't like take away from the experience. Now, I do wonder if this new way will make the ride go down more or less. I'm not really sure if they'll be more finicky where the TV face is easier. So I'm curious to see if that makes it better or worse. Another big ride that is getting updated, I have the opposite excitement about Big Thunder Mountain. I'm excited for this ride to close, and that is Rock and Roller Coaster over in Hollywood Studios. It's closing this summer. There's good things and bad things, I think, to this. I'm not a huge fan of this ride because it is like a very intense roller coaster, like the opposite of what I've been saying. This is closing in March of next year and then reopening in quote summer of next year. This is like the opposite of what I said about Big Thunder Mountain and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. This goes upside down. It's an intense, true roller coaster with a 48-inch height limit. So I will ride this maybe once every 3 to 5 years. I don't go crazy for it. But the biggest reason why I don't get on it is I don't care about Aerosmith. Like Aerosmith and Disney, truly who cares? I feel like maybe my mom was like the only one that thought that was cool. Honestly, maybe I'm wrong. But on the other hand of like good versus bad, this is just another ride that was open that would take up bodies away from other rides I do like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So it will just be another thing from March to summer being closed, making wait times across the park just a little bit higher in Hollywood Studios. I am very curious to see how much of a retheme this will be. So similar to what Splash Mountain did with Tiana's Bayou, instead of Aerosmith, it will be Muppet themed. Am I a diehard Muppet fan? Not really. I do like the Muppets because do I have people in my life that absolutely love the Muppets? Yes, I sure do. So, I'm so happy for them. And I'm just really happy for this to finally get changed over. I'm just glad that it's finally closing so we can make it something else that's Disney related and we can stop talking about it. We all know that moment where the planning starts to feel a little harder than it should. You're excited, but you're also trying to do a million things at once, plus the long to-do list that can pile up when you're planning for Disney. That's exactly where my friend Sarah, also known as Main Street Mom, comes in. She books Disney World, Disneyland, cruises, and she's one of the rare travel agents who will also take on DVC stays, which if you know me, you know that's my favorite way to stay. And she doesn't just book your trip and leave you hanging. She builds your whole trip with you. Dining, extras, Lightning Lane pre-bookings, discount monitoring, and she's on call, literally on call, during your trip. It's another level of support from someone I trust and know personally. All of that is free when you book a package with Sarah. And bonus, if your package is 3 or more park days, she also pre-books your dining and Lightning Lanes for you. So if you want your trip to feel supported, tap the quote form in the show notes or visit themainstreetmom.com. While I'm kind of meh about that update, I am very excited about 2 other things that are coming to Hollywood Studios. Both of these are, again, quote, summer. The first one being the Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live. I am truly pumped about this and should really have put it at the top if I was going in order of excitement because there is a new dance party for the kids. And I'm curious exactly how this will play out, if it will, I'm assuming, stay almost exactly the same of the Disney Junior dance party. To be able to dance with Mickey and all the friends. Here, I'll just actually read what's on Disney's website. Join the party at Mickey's house. Step into the rhythm at this fun-filled show packed with upbeat, toe-tapping tunes. Watch the adventure unfold when Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse embark on a road trip to round up their best pals, Goofy, Daisy, and Pluto, who haven't made it to the party yet. The excitement builds as all friends gather back at Mickey's house for a grand, high-energy finale. I mean, that's cute. I have a 2-year-old boy, so I am very excited about seeing this dance party. And I know it'll be wonderful to get his energy out. And while I really love that for my 2-year-old, this I love for all of my kids, actually my entire family. So there's a new walkthrough all about Walt Disney Animation. And I'm going to leave a link in the show notes for all of these things so you can read about them specifically because this one has a lot of information. But what you need to know is that there will be different departments that you can walk through, all related to real animation. So the first room is story. The second is layout. The third is hand-drawn, and so on. And there's going to be character meet and greets in these departments. I don't know if they're in all of them, and I have no idea how they're going to handle this logistically. Very, very curious. Very excited to see this because what I love about Hollywood Studios, and if you've been around Disney for a long time, back when it was MGM, is it was all about making the movies. And if they do this well, I really think Hollywood Studios could be a contender for my favorite park because one of the things in this update is a new playground, a Mary Blair-inspired playground. And I'll read from the website because this sounds so cute. It says, our youngest animators to be can explore the, quote, Drawn to Wonderland playground, which, if you guessed, it's like Alice in Wonderland, filled with an oversized flower garden with musical instruments, a Mad Tea Party playset, and a Tulsi Wood exploration area, which is the woods in Alice in Wonderland. So I'm imagining branches and trees, all inspired by the original Alice in Wonderland concept art from Mary Blair. And listen carefully. Really picture this. It will be the perfect whimsical indoor play area for little ones to grow. So finally, this will be one of the first playgrounds in Hollywood Studios. Very, very pumped. It's funny because as I'm reading all of these, really want to go to Disney World in the summer. And I vowed to myself that we were not going to go to Disney World in the summer again, like for a while. And this next one is also, quote, summer 2026. And that is to meet Bluey and Bingo over at Animal Kingdom. So side story, a couple months ago, we went to New York City to visit Bluey and Bingo's house. It was very cool. We got to play in their kitchen and slip on the beans. And we sat in their living room. We laid in their beds. It was very cute. And at the end of the experience, you got to meet the characters. Like you find them in the backyard. It was super cute. Like it was awesome. The kids loved it. But the characters were so stiff. It just shows you like how much of an experience Disney gives you. Like it was just kind of funny. They were very stiff. Their costumes, I don't think, had a lot of movement. And they just kind of like very awkwardly turned and like waved at you. And that was about it. So I'm dying to see how Disney does it with the Bluey and Bingo costumes. I've seen the little teasers online. I'm just very curious how the whole experience is going to be. It is at the conservation station in Animal Kingdom, which means there's going to be a short train ride getting to them, which I don't want to say it's like a bummer. It's not a bad thing. I just don't expect it to be like a short in and out thing. Like if you want to prioritize it this summer, you definitely have to prioritize it. And I just like that they're trying to free up some space, like move people around such a big park. I feel like the last few things I've said are very like kid driven, which I like. And the last thing in like this kid bubble is that promotion wise for 2026, all year long, kids are eligible for a free dining plan when you buy one adult dining plan. And I haven't read like the super fine print on this, but the thing that I did notice, which is rare, is that you can add this on to a DVC room. And for us, in our scenario, my husband and I are 2 adults with 2 kids that would be eligible from 3 to 9 years old. So we would essentially be paying for ourselves for the dining plan, and then our 2 girls get it for free. So for the hassle that I have mentioned of using the dining plan on the podcast in the past, is just a lot of mental math, even more planning on top of it, thinking of where you're going to eat ahead of time. I usually avoid the dining plan. But for this in our scenario, I think I may face the hassle. I think it might be worth it. And just like this promo, there's also just some more features that I am excited to use in 2026. The My Disney Experience app got a little bit of a refresh where you can show your dining reservations on the map and your lightning lanes on the map. So when you're looking at the map, you can just see where you're going to be and when. It makes it so much easier to visually imagine, especially if you've never been to Disney World before. You can also get the activity schedule for most of the resorts. I haven't seen it on the boardwalk. This is not inside the app, but if you go into a browser under the resort hotels and then you hit the recreation tab, you'll see a little hyperlink of view the full schedule of recreation and entertainment that they have usually at the resort. So if you're wondering when the arts and crafts are, or the campfire, or what movie is going to be playing that night out on the lawn, you can see it all there. And this is kind of new because last year, if you wanted to see the schedule, you would just kind of see it in the lobby or the elevator and take a picture of it. Now you can download it to your computer ahead of time. So that is my list of new things coming to Disney World in 2026 that I'm actually excited for. Not every single new thing, but everything I'm genuinely, at least at the bare minimum, curious to see how it all plays out. Come back next week for a very special guest where we will chat about Disney's newest ship, the Disney Destiny. We're chatting with Melissa McGill, and I cannot wait. See you next week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Laid Back Magic Way podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode and it was helpful for you, it would mean the world to me if you'd write a quick review. Your reviews help more moms like you find the show, and I read every single one of them. Seriously, thank you in advance. You can find me on Instagram at Somewhere Worthwhile, and I'd love to hear from you there. DM me if you have any questions about this episode or what you'd like to see in future ones. Until then, keep planning for your next favorite memory, and I'll see you next time.